I set the salad down, the scent of lemon and basil still rising in the air. I pulled my chair back, ready to sit, when her voice cut through the room like a knife. The help doesn't eat with family. Her lips curled into a sneer. My mother-in-law, with her pearls, her perfect posture, her poisoned tongue. The table went silent. My husband's eyes dropped to his plate. Coward. I didn't flinch. I looked her dead in the eye and said, calm and clear, "Good to know," because the help owns this resort. And in that instant, everything shifted. I had met her 5 years earlier. Back then, I was still naive enough to think acceptance came with love. When I walked into her house for the first time, she looked me over the way you look at a pair of shoes on clearance. Cheap, disposable, not worth the brand name her son carried. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "You're different," she said. Different, the word she used instead of unworthy. Her son, my future husband, defended me then. He said I was brilliant, driven, the kind of woman who built herself from nothing. I believed him. I believed he saw me as his equal. But love makes you blind. Or worse, it makes you willing to walk into fire just to prove you belong. The signs came slowly. Her little comments during dinners. "Are you sure you know how to use a wine glass properly?" The way she'd sigh when I mentioned my work. "So, hospitality, that's sweet. Not exactly a career though, is it?" And my husband, her son, never stopped her. Never stood for me. That was the real betrayal. Not her words, his silence. I discovered the truth one afternoon. I overheard her on the phone, her voice sharp and vicious. "She's after your money, that's all. She'll never be one of us." And his response? Quiet agreement. "I know, Mother. Don't worry. It's a phase. I'll handle it." Handle me? I didn't confront him. Not then. I just filed it away, the way I file every reservation, every contract, every detail. Because I don't raise my voice when I'm wounded. I sharpen my knives in silence. The plan began that night. I stopped trying to win her approval, stopped explaining myself. Instead, I worked. Harder, smarter. The resort I had built, a crumbling seaside property I bought with every dime I owned, became my weapon. I poured myself into it, expanded it, renovated it, rebranded it. I turned it into the kind of place people whispered about in boardrooms and begged to be seen in on social media. Every deal, every contract, every signature, I handled it alone. My name, not his. My empire, not theirs. And I waited, because revenge is patient. When she insisted we host the family reunion at a proper place instead of my little inn, I volunteered this resort. She agreed only because she thought it was still owned by someone else. She thought she was stepping into her world of privilege. She didn't know she was stepping into mine. The dining hall glittered that evening. Crystal chandeliers, white linens, every detail curated with precision. I dressed in black. Not flashy, not loud, just simple, elegant, unshakable. She sat at the head of the table, issuing commands as if she were the queen. I played the hostess, quiet, attentive, invisible. I poured wine, served plates, smiled when she dismissed me with a wave of her hand. Until that moment. Until she sneered, "The help doesn't eat with family." The silence after my words was heavier than stone. Her fork froze midair. "What did you say?" I leaned in, steady, deliberate. I said, "The help owns this resort. Every chandelier above you, every glass you drink from, every brick in these walls, mine." Her face drained of color. I turned my gaze to my husband. And yours, darling? Nothing. You signed it all away when you put your name on those prenups you didn't bother to read. Gasps rippled around the table. My cousins-in-law, their mouths open. My husband's jaw clenched, but his eyes told the truth. He knew. He had always known. Enjoy dinner, I said softly, sliding into my seat. After all, it's on me. She didn't speak for the rest of the night. My husband tried, later, to scold me. You embarrassed her. I laughed in his face. No, she embarrassed herself. I just handed her the bill. That was the last night we were married. Divorce followed swiftly, cleanly. The prenup protected me, stripped him bare. His mother tried to fight, of course, but she fought with money that wasn't hers. And I had built something that couldn't be touched. Now, when I walk the halls of my resort, I see her shadow everywhere. Guests smiling in the sunlit lobby, families laughing by the pool. The empire she dismissed as hospitality. She thought I was the help. She thought I was less, but she was wrong. I was the storm she never saw coming. And every time she checks into another hotel,